Before we start, I want to talk about this our new friend that has decided to join me overnight. I don't know where she came from because this morning it wasn't this bad, but it's now she's here. So let's welcome her. I look very bored right now, but that is where we find ourselves today, in my room. I kind of made a list of videos I wanted to do, maybe 5 or 6. And as I was watching YouTube today, I was watching an Abba and Preach video. I was recommended, literally recommended, the exact video idea that I had. So I went on the video and I was like, somebody else is talking about this topic. Let me see what their opinions are. So yeah, that's what brings us to this video today on Damon and Jo. I watched a video recently on Damon Dominic's channel about the situation that he found himself in, how he went from Damon and Jo to Damon Dominique, the YouTube channel. I was really first of all impressed by how the video was handled and the aesthetics and how it just seemed like, to me, it seemed like one of those BTS conferences, you know, those K-pop press conferences where they deal with all these issues that their fans have. So basically all the questions that we had been yearning to have the answers to, he answered them in depth, in detail. It was a long video. I watched the whole thing. So a couple of years ago, maybe 3-4 years, I know I was in Futa at the time. I had left secondary school. I was still on my let me learn French journey. I still am, but you know, it goes in and out in my life. And I was looking for content on like French TV shows and movies and stuff like that. So that's how I found this video of these two people, a guy and a girl. The guy was white and the girl was light skinned brown. And the thumbnail had like the vibes of they were at like a Parisian street restaurant, like street side eatery, right? And they were like flirting with someone. That was like the vibe of the thumbnail. So that's why I clicked on it. I was like, this seems interesting. Let me see what's going on. And from there, that's how I found like all their other videos, and I was like hooked on them. Basically, I was just hooked. Yeah, I think it started in 2012 or 11 or something like that. So I was a little bit late to the party at the time, but I was like, nah, these are my people. I love this. They're polyglots. They're traveling around the world. They're teaching people how to travel on a budget, how to travel broke, basically. I think over the past 2 years, I got hooked on Damon's Wine Talks, which inspired our Tipsy Talk series. I was saying that there was a kind of imbalance of the posting of videos. I remember I watched a video and there was a comment. The comment talked about how Jo was posting things consistently, basically picking up the slack for Damon's lack of consistency on the channel. But whenever Damon did post a video, it would always hit, you know, like it would always be the one with the most views at the time. It was then around that time that I was like, oh, what's going on? Why is there kind of like this weird shift in the channel? Because you could tell that it was no longer them doing videos together. It was like one video is Jo, one video is Damon. And there would be times where they would try to merge their videos. They would be filming in different parts of the world and they would merge the videos together with like, how much does €5 get you in Spain versus Brazil or something like that. So I was at that time I was like, okay, this channel is getting a bit, you know, I was still coming in and out. The only thing that really brought me back to the channel was Damon Dominique's Wine Talks. I would always find myself coming back to check if he had posted. Right before I saw the Damon Dominique Wine Talk, I had watched a video from the Brazilians. Yeah, me and Taiwo, we watched it together, the new video for the channel. And we were actually really, really interested in it. We were like, oh, the guy seems really attractive. He seems cool and chill and laid back. We liked the vibe of it. But we were like, that's kind of weird that she started a new channel. What's going to happen to Damon and Jo? And we realized that, you know, Damon and Jo it wasn't like they weren't posting a lot of videos on there. And then for her to start a new channel, it was like, what's going on? And then the pandemic happened. And then the Red Wine Talks that I was coming back to watch was now on Damon Dominique. And I think there was only one video on Damon Dominique's channel at that time. That was the only video, the Red Wine Talk. And he had made a playlist joining the ones from Damon and Jo. And I was like, okay, he's starting a new chapter. I don't really understand, but okay. And then I kept going back and I got hooked on his dating around the world I just loved, like, what I loved about Damon Dominique's new channel was like the intros. What I miss these days about TV shows is that there's no theme song to like dance to and to sing along to. Like that's what me and my siblings loved as children, being able to sing along to the theme song. So when I was now watching the new Damon videos and I was seeing that each like segment, each kind of video had its own theme song, I was like, yes, this guy has got me. And the content was super interesting. The ones about his dating, the red wine talks. I was like, no, this is great. I was like, this is like he was doing well, you know. And occasionally I would see a like what you didn't learn in French class that they should have taught you kind of video. So I thought that was interesting. But the Brazilians were still going on, and then suddenly it stopped. And I was like, why would you start a channel with someone and then suddenly stop? I was just confused. But I kept watching the Damon Dominic videos. Last week, where I watched the press conference, I had now got the gist of what had happened, right? And I was like, oh. So all of this is going on, and like, where was I? So basically, what happened was Damon and Jo, from the beginning, from like the conceptualization of their channel, their thing was getting a TV show. Like they wanted their own travel show. So they had been working for like 9-10 years to build up a following on the YouTube channel, on their company Shut and Go, on the Facebook page, just getting interactions with different people and different ideas for this TV show that they wanted to make, right? At that time they had been pitching like crazy to different networks and different TV people. They got a book deal and they went into the pitch for the book deal very confident. Maybe a week later, they were rejected, right? And they were having this discussion outside, and one of their friends congratulated them on having a book deal, and we're like, no, we didn't get it. And then it turned out that the guy was referring to Jo, to Jo's book deal. Damon was like, what? Excuse me? You know, like, we just turned down a book deal because it wasn't good for us, and you got your own. So that was his first, this is weird, why couldn't you just tell me? The Brazilian, she started the channel without informing him. So that was also kind of what's going on, right? Netflix was like, they were willing to hear their story for the pitch for their new TV show. So when they went into the pitch, and by the end of the pitch, they said that they didn't want Damon, they only wanted Jo. So obviously that kind of created even more of a rift between them, because it was like, we worked so hard to get this thing, and now they're choosing one of us instead of both of us. Damon was like, you know what, this is a very good deal. I wouldn't even mind, if you took the deal. So Jo took the Netflix deal. And with Netflix, there are contracts. And the contracts basically stated that they are not allowed to do anything together. They're not allowed to create content unless Netflix approves. Now, they've been working together 10 years. Right? 10 long, hard years. And now Netflix is saying that any small decision they want to make, any content they want to put on their channel has to be approved by them first and like boards of people. It was like, this is not going to fly. So obviously that's what caused the debilitation of content on their channel. Because of that, he had no source of income. He had no content, to be making, because he couldn't do anything without her on the channel. So his agency also dropped him. And he was like, wow. So this is how bad life gets. He did state that he wasn't struggling, but he had just lost his sources of income. He needed to find another one. So that's why he started the Damon Dominic channel. Yeah, the way he made the video was very like open and still very caring about Jo Franco. Like he was saying a lot that he didn't want any hate towards her, and he was always critiquing her and saying kind things about her. Basically, like, she made this decision, I think this. He was basically talking about it from a very level-headed point of view. Damon's makeshift press conference was very eye-opening to me, because I didn't realize that you could have a breakup between a friendship. Like, he talked about how they don't talk anymore. Like, these people had been very close, like living with each other 24/7, sharing food, clothes, traveling together, like very, very close, almost familial bond, right? And now you're people that you don't even talk to each other. Like, you'll be in the same location and you won't even like say hi to each other. It was very weird to me. I never thought that could happen, with like relationships in general. or even like relationships in like your youth, when you think about like romantic relationships, you always think, okay, this one's gonna end. Never think that a friendship is ever gonna not last. Just never in a million years did I think, if it's like they're not making YouTube videos anymore, like that they would ever not be on speaking terms with each other, basically. And the way he phrased everything, it made it seem like he was a victim in the whole situation. But obviously, this is only his side of the story that we've heard. But like, I just felt so bad for it. Like, he was getting blow after blow, and he was just like having to deal with it. Like, I would have cried, man. Like, I would have been I would have been down for like at least a month. But then obviously, you have to think about what you want to do with your life, where you're gonna get money from. Damon is a white male who is part of the LGBT community. His experiences and the opportunities that he may get are very, very different from Joe, who's a first generation immigrant from Colombia. Is it Colombia or Brazil? Yeah, I never thought in a million years that they would not be Damon and Joe. And the way everything played out, it seemed like Joe made a lot of mistakes. Damon was getting blindsided at literally every corner. And it made me feel bad for him. Because, like, nobody deserves that. Like, at all. Ever. And, like, for that to come from your best friend is. People were making comments about how maybe Joe is trying to settle down, or she's trying to, like, make a plan for herself where she can settle down in the future and make a family and provide for her family. And the fact that she's taking care of her mother right now gives her different responsibilities to Damon, who is more free, who can be more free spirited because of the situation he's in. He doesn't have to take care of anybody. So maybe that also had to maybe so I checked out the show on Netflix after watching Damon's video, just to see what it was like and why she would have chosen this over them, basically. Obviously you can't see the like you can't foresee how what you want to do is gonna go. You can't foresee how it's gonna be perceived by people. But I feel like based on the script that she read, she would have known that whether this is what I want to be doing or not. So I went on the show on Netflix, and it's one long name that at first I was even like, just based on the name, I didn't see how it linked with Joe at all. Then went on it because at first I thought it was just gonna be Joe and someone else, because Damon said that they had her screen testing with other people because they didn't want him, they wanted her and someone else. So I thought it was just going to be Joe and someone else. Then I find out that it's four different people, and she's kind of like relegated to like one of these. She's like just a section of the show that has no personality. Like, her personality doesn't shine through at all. It just seems like she's there just to add flavor to the show. It seemed like one of those boring shows that I would watch on TV on like Channel 5 or something, and I would skip to the next one. That's what it seemed like. Like, very scripted. Places that people our age, things that she'd been doing, that she had been promoting, like, weren't on this show. The show itself just seemed very cheesy and corny to me. I didn't watch up to half. I didn't even watch up to a quarter. But the amount that I just saw that she wasn't in it as much as I wanted her to be. I saw that her part was, to me, just seemed small, and her personality did not shine through at all. So I was just like, it just made me feel even worse. Like I felt like this wasn't worth it. Like, this show wasn't worth breaking up what you guys had at like 1.2 million subs. And maybe, yeah, what the other person that I said, the commenter, maybe what that person said was true, and about what her wanted to have like a steady career path and put down roots. But gaining instant money from Netflix for a season will not be as substantial as if you continued with the lane that you were in, the thing that you're passionate about, that people know you for, that you're extremely good at. So I just saw that it was, I just didn't think that it was worth it, basically. I really appreciated the fact that Damon took his time to explain the situation and to literally say, don't go and hate Joe because of this, that this is what I went through and this is how I felt. But it doesn't mean that she's this or that, and doesn't invalidate her her skills and her person, basically. On the Gambium, they were talking about how YouTubers don't necessarily owe us anything, but basically us, the viewers, are giving them their daily bread. So yes, you don't owe us anything, but you kind of do a little bit need to appreciate the fact that we've been following you for so long. So we deserve at least some sort of explanation, right? So after he posted his video, like since then there has been a response from her. She hasn't talked about it. It just seems, based on her social media feeds, it just seems that she's just been on this solo thing for so long. Like Damon is always, whenever Damon talks about Shut Up and Go or Damon and Jo, it's always like, I did this with this person. I started this with this person. From Jo's point of view, if you were just coming into Jo's socials at this time, you wouldn't necessarily know who Damon was, because she doesn't talk about him. She doesn't refer to him. She doesn't refer to their work as their work. It's like she's the one that did all of it, you know? So I thought that was also kind of, thought that was not nice. I don't even want to say shady. I don't think it's considerate at all, the way she's gone about things. But again, we're only looking at this from one person's point of view, but from what we're seeing, it doesn't seem considerate how she's handled the situations and the opportunities that she's been given. Friendship breakups are something that nobody talks about. I don't even see them like anywhere, YouTube, TV, Netflix, or anything. I don't see friendship breaks. It's always like two girls over a guy, or over something that seems petty. After a week, they've reconciled. But this is something that after 10 years, 10 years on the platform, not just 10 years like of their life. It would have been longer in their life. 10 years of friendship, and for it to end in that kind of way, it's disheartening for like your point of view of what humankind is like, or what your relationships may end up being, because like, we're all the same and we can all make these kinds of mistakes. When you have this kind of opportunity put in front of you and you have to choose a path that will benefit you, the people around you, there will be times that there will be like friction between you and other people that it involves, you know. But there are ways to handle these kinds of situations, because it made me think about my own personal relationships with people, and the people that I call my friends, my closest friends, and how that could happen. My thing is mostly with distance. Most of my friends are older, more focused in their career paths, more experienced, more well-to-do, so they have things that they have goals that they're going towards. So they have places that they're going that don't necessarily include me, but it's very different to this situation where something literally came in between them. I watched those two videos that I watched to really open my eyes to other people's perspective on what went on. What's weird too, I found that the people that talked about this were all people of color. The people that I've seen, because I still searched the video just before I started this, the people that I've seen that have talked about this were all people of color and female. They were all female people of color. I haven't seen a male talk about this particular topic. I haven't seen a white person talk about this particular topic. So I also find that interesting that it's these minorities that are feeling like they have the most to say, or feel more confident to post the things that they have to say on this particular topic. Maybe we felt the need to clear up our opinions on that particular person and the way that person handled the situation. That's the video for today. I just felt like talking about that. Thank you for watching. See you tomorrow.